The Callicrate Bander is the highest quality, most technologically advanced castration tool available. It's the castration tool that works. Simply stated, it provides better performance and more profit. It's safe, easy, and effective with much less stress on the animal. The Callicrate Bander works on any size animal, and anybody can use it. Here's what Dr. Lynn Locatelli has to say about the Bander.
We like the Callicrate Bander because it's a bloodless technique, it's easy to learn, and it's easy to train crews how to use the tool very successfully.
Rancher Tom Hendricks runs a 400-head cow-calf and stocker operation near Ray, Colorado.
Well, the biggest advantage I see is picking up that extra 40 or 50 pounds that you get, and when you delay castration, when you're preconditioning, it just takes, an extra half a minute or so to band a calf. So, it's pretty good returns for an extra 40 or 50 pounds, especially at today's prices. I delayed castration till preconditioning time in the middle of August. I feel like the calves stay a lot healthier being bull calves. They just put on more muscle mass and less fat.
Here's what Atwood, Kansas cattleman Dan Fields, who sells about 200 feeder cattle annually, has to say about it. We usually try to get the calves started on feed and then band them, and it doesn't slow them up a bit. I leave my own bull calves intact to about 600 pounds, which means they stay healthier and perform better. I band some pretty big bulls, too, and they never miss a feeding. I do everything myself, and it's nice to be able to run them through the chute. I don't have to wrangle them at the stage when they are hard to wrangle.
Most of us have noticed how bull calves left intact until they're 5 months old or greater will far outgain their heifer mates or steers that are castrated at a much younger age. The problem comes when you go to castrate those older bulls. It can cause a lot of stress on them and set them back a lot. The Bander allows you to castrate them stress-free, and my friend said they're never going to miss a meal. I couldn't believe it, but I had to try it. The first surprise was that the bulls would just stand there in the chute while you put the band on and not even move. Some would stomp a foot a time or two, but that's about it. Since I weigh my cattle every time they go through the chute, it was easy to check their weight gains. The first group that I banded, I checked a month later when I put them through the chute again, and when I put the weights into the computer, they were right on line with their gains as what they were before they were banded. That convinced me.
Here's Joel Chisholm from Pineo Feed Yard, Brush, Colorado.
Within about 15 minutes after the cattle have been banded, they seem to forget about it. They tend to go right on feed, and consumptions are no different than normal.
Kenneth Newton of Missouri says, I've had a Callicrate Bander for about 4 years. It's never failed me, and never failed to do its job on all size cattle. It's been the best piece of equipment on my farm. I've yet to even change a pull string. Producer and veterinarian Ralph Miller of Livingston, Montana, opts for the Callicrate Bander over a knife when it comes to make his bull calf steers. Miller is among a growing number of producers delaying castration to take advantage of faster, more efficient weight gains from intact bulls. Research indicates bulls typically gain 15% faster and convert feed 20% more efficiently than castrated steers. Compared to the traditional knife-cut castration process, banding is much easier and less stressful on animals. Matt Swain, research associate with the University of California Davis Animal Science Department, has found that a high-tension band on the scrotum appears to generate a more localized immune response than surgical castration. According to his research, when done properly, banding doesn't result in any apparent depression of the animal's appetite or rate of gain. Swain prefers to band calves at about 5 months of age. Surgically castrated calves generally take 7 to 10 days of recovery before they start gaining weight again. Callicrate banded calves never show any setback. In fact, they show the same rate of gain as bull calves left intact. At weaning, Callicrate banded calves are typically 20 pounds heavier than those surgically castrated. The knife-cut calves will catch up, but they need more days on feed to do it. The bottom line is that high-tension banding is faster, easier, and less traumatic for the animal than surgical castration. Whereas elastrator rings put on at birth can affect the animal's growth, the Bander allows testosterone, nature's best muscle builder, to go to work, When you take that away, you limit performance. Utah State's extension beef specialist, Dale Zobel's comparison trials found intact bulls had the best rate of gain, and bloodless castrates had a better rate of gain than surgical castrates. In answer to the question of when is the best time to band, Zobel felt that banding can be used on any size of bull, but you've got to find a time that fits your management. If you've got animals with good carcass traits, leave them intact as long as possible to take advantage of performance. D. Griffin, veterinarian with the University of Nebraska Great Plains Veterinary Education Center, concurs that banding has proven to be an outstanding alternative, especially when castrating older bulls. Griffin worked with the Meat Animal Research Center and instituted banding 15 years ago as a means to castrate 1,100-pound bulls that had been involved in genetic research projects. Studies found that with surgical castration, they had a rate of 8 to 9% complications, with 1 to 2% of those being severe. With banding, they had very few problems. Zobel, Swain, and Miller all say they've never had a problem with banded animals getting sick, but the band needs to be put on right. A good squeeze chute is a must to properly apply the band. It's important when applying the band that both testicles are placed in the band and that the band remains above both testicles before tension is applied. The band also needs to be put on tight. The Callicrate Bander is the only high-tension bander on the market. Its tension indicator senses proper tightness every time, regardless of operator or the size of the animal. Experts agree that for premium performances and better beef, producers should delay castration. For more information, call 800-858-5974 or visit us on the web at nobull.net.